First day of coastal walking, and this is what we walk over the hill to see. How are we doing? And now
beautiful.
we walk up that for some way. It's going to be a hot one. We're loaded up with water. Not sure where we'll find the next section of water that's drinkable, so we got many a litre amongst us. It's good to get back on the road. It's good to get back with the pack that I own on my back that I thought was lost. I think it's going to be a good day.
Look at this. Ah!
So many!
So many!
My whole cloud.
But clouds of flies were just the beginning.
We're just having to think about these here clouds and what they mean for us, if anything. I think they mean nothing. That appears to be a bushfire. It's time to figure out how close it is to us. Well, after consulting the necessary authorities, we've decided to march on. But we'll continue to monitor the situation. It's given a yellow tinge across the sun, but it's still quite beautiful here. And it's a wonderful temperature. It's a pretty easy day's walking up the beach. Got my stuff back. Got my friends here. Oh man, you can't beat it. This is good travel. It's a windy one today. The girls are gonna head off that way, and I'm gonna go on that way. See you in a month and a half. Well, as the girls dwindle to a speck in the distance behind me, I'm left. Me, the sand, the wild ocean, whipped up by the wind. I return to my grey isolation. It's desolate and beautiful here. Hunched, bent trees, tussock scrub as I march towards Cape Conran and then further Cape Howe. This is a spot of the world where hardly anyone comes, hardly ever. And it's a privilege to be here. It's invigorating. It's life-giving. Well, I've turned off the road for a time. I've turned off the beach to this road, one of the few that runs my direction, mostly just to get a change, to get out of the wind, and it's really become rather unpleasant. I hope the girls are alright. They have just trash bags for raincoats.
I found out later that they only just made it back. The lack of protection from wind and rain meant Juliet was dangerously close to hypothermia by the end, and would have been in real trouble if it weren't for Annie. And that same weather was heading my way.
As you can see, I'm prepared for the weather, and this tarp really does great service as both a pack cover and a raincoat. I don't know where this path leads. I may end up turning back. There are a few dead ends around here, and it's not obvious which path is which sometimes, and my map of this area is not the greatest because I'd mostly planned it to be beach walking, which is pretty straightforward. But we'll just see. I've taken the opportunity to tuck into the first half of lunch because that path didn't go anywhere. As nice and windless as it was. So we're back on the coast, and it's pretty wild weather today. like being a proper explorer right now. Heading for a river I've never crossed. The mouth of it at low tide. Hoping to be able to get across at the Narrows. And this terrain, this landscape is like something out of Star Wars. And it's got violent sandstorms. I'm wearing the tarp more for the sand at the moment than the rain, as well as being one of the windiest places I think I've ever been. Well, here we are. This is a violent place. About 15 minutes off low tide. Even now it's starting to become less intense. The evacuation of water was fierce. We've been watching it for about 10 to 15 minutes now. Trying to think about whether it's a good idea. Where I would do it if I could. Honestly, I really don't know about this. Long walk to the other side if I don't cross it. A long walk to the bridge. And quite scary out here alone. There's nobody. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm alone. It's deep. The sand sinks. It's not a good idea. It's far too dangerous. I don't want to die stupid. Today is not the day to be attempting that. I'm cold. I'm wet. I'm scared. So I'm pulling the pin. Well, here I sit on the lee side of some hump of foliage and sand, trying to gather myself again. I'm wind battered, I'm cold, I'm wet on from my waist down. I just realized I lost Phoebe's beanie, my sister's beanie that she made me, somewhere out on that tidal plain. I had a bit of a look for it just now. It's probably gone. I haven't even looked at the map yet, but I know it's a long walk around. It's gonna cost me half a day, at least. So there goes most of my rest day. Bad time right now. The storm has passed in more ways than one. Sun's come out, it's deigned to shine. And look, I found it. The problem remains this. And I was half hoping someone would be out on a boat and I could ask them for a lift, buy them a beer or something, but it doesn't appear to be the case. And it's too far for me to swim with a bag, and it's after 5. Well, there's bad news, and there's bad news, and it's a long way to the nearest bridge over the snowy river, which means we might have to face that Narrows anyway. The other bad news is Caleb's sick, so he may not be able to join us, but it means I may be doing the section to Malakuta on my own as well. This has been a tiring day. This day has been mental. Who knows, maybe I meet someone who's got a boat. Maybe I get lucky. Maybe not. Here's the plan. There's a guy I camp over who has a boat. I don't know him. I haven't said hi to him yet. But plan A is if he is going over or can be convinced to take me over, job done. If he's not, and he can't, then we're going to have to try and make all this float somehow. Good news, John's a nice guy. He's going to take me over in a few hours in his boat. Oh, is that a load off my mind? What a champion. He didn't even ask for anything in return. I will ask him what I can do for him, but... wow. Alright, here we are. Safe. Across the river. Dry in Marlow. Thanks be to John, the boat driver. This is what it's about. Planning things just enough. Knowing or hoping there'll be solutions to the things you can't or haven't planned. Now we're talking. Now we're walking. We're back onto the beach. This is what I imagined it to be. Walking the coast. I long to see this white-bellied sea eagle again. Majestic and masterful. Unparalleled. Lifts this whole spirit. Well, here we are, Cape Conran. And now we're off the beach for a bit, onto some tracks. A welcome change, but it's been quite lovely. What a marvelous spot in the world. Part of me still can't believe that this is how I'm getting to Sydney. Walking. What an honour. What a joy. What a pleasure. This is so much nicer than a car. But even just the bracken alone, plus the trees, the sound of the ocean just off to the right. And I get to stay somewhere just up here tonight as a campsite. It even has showers. We'll be sleeping on sheepskin on top of gum bark today because the site I've chosen happens to have a gum tree that is just shedding all its bark. I'll put it back when I'm done, and it makes an excellent addition to a mattress. If it's all you have, it's fantastic. I think it's going to be a comfy night. I'm sheltered here in the campsite. I've got a warm fire. It's going to be a good night, I think. Just before 24 hours ago, I was wondering what I was going to do. Wondering how I was going to get across the snowy river. Wondering if I'd make it in time, and here I am, Cape Conran. Had great weather, had a lift across the water, saw my favourite eagle. Life's good. Life's real good. You know, some of my favourite video games, growing up and still to this day, are the ones where you get to just roam in a world created by the game designers. And one of the most satisfying parts of those kinds of games for me was always being able to set something in your sights or mark something on your map and just go for it and just see what you find along the way. And in many ways, that's what this journey is. Every once in a while, I get these moments where you get to see far ahead and you see something that you're going for, and it's almost like you set that marker and you go, okay, time to walk there. It's quite difficult in Australia in the 21st century to do that, because these days people put up fences everywhere and say this bit's mine, access prohibited, trespass is prosecuted, and even that you're potentially allowed to walk through often looks like this. My year 6 teacher, she went to Mongolia and she came back and she brought photos with her, and she put this one photo up on the screen and I can still remember it. And what struck me most about this photo, what made me fall in love with it, was there were just no fences. There were no visible restrictions for where you could go, and I just fell in love with that idea immediately and deeply. And I've been longing for that ever since. So this trip is an experiment in how possible that is, and how open the real world is. I'm starting to feel the loneliness out here. I'm ready to see some people. Ready to share this with someone. I miss them. I miss people.
Next time on my slow travel experiment.
Well, look at this. It's 2 friends. It's gonna be a long day. Already I've taken a wrong turn. This is how to get sandy shoes. You could really stack it here. And if you do, there's no coming back.